So I have some final thoughts for everybody on the Joe Rogan election special that we did the other night on election night. I had a great time. I had a really great time. I think Tim Dillon is absolutely hilarious. Joe is always such an easy guy to talk to. It's so easy to just flow back and forth with him. He really knows how to, this is one of the reasons why his podcast is the biggest in the world. He just knows how to casually sort of steer a conversation and take it into interesting places. And I think we had a great vibe going that night. A lot of people were, talking about where the hell is Alex Jones. I mentioned this previously, but listen, I don't know who's the one who really ultimately said, I'm not going to come. Was it Alex who said that, or was it Joe who told Alex, I don't want you to come? I don't know. I just know that apparently Alex was doing his own election coverage. And the more Joe spoke to him, the more it popped up at some point where Alex was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I did invite myself the other night. I was kind of drunk when I did that. And, oh yeah, I forgot I have to do my own election coverage. So I don't know exactly what the dynamic was and who was the one who really called it off for him coming, but obviously he didn't end up coming. He didn't pop in or anything like that. A lot of people were upset by that, but also there were a lot of people who weren't because, keep it real. The night was a hell of a lot more educational and informative without him there because I could give facts and not have to worry about a bulldozer, driving over me to make some sort of insane point about how there's this giant conspiracy going on and the election is being stolen from Trump in real time or whatever, So it would have been interesting if he was there because that dynamic would have been wild. I don't know how him and I would have vibed because I'm generally a nice guy, but if I hear him saying certain things that I know are just not true, I can't let it slide. So I don't know what the vibe would have been like. Maybe it would have been magic. Maybe it would have been abysmal. But, at the end of the day, it was just Tim Dillon, myself, and Joe Rogan. And I think it went really well. The numbers for it were out of this world. We were beating some of the major networks. I mean, I know that's a crazy thought, but it's true. We were. And I have to say, looking back at it now, even I'm impressed with how right I was on a lot of the stuff I said. Now, listen, I don't want to give myself too much credit because it's not even me. I'm just relaying the information from the experts that I read on it. I'm just a conduit for the information. So, if you read the comments now on the video, it's all like, oh my God, Kyle was exactly right. Kyle was exactly right. How the hell did he get it so right? Kyle's exactly right. But really it wasn't me. It was the fact that I read these analysts and these experts who explained exactly what was going to happen. And all I did was went out there and just stuck to my guns and told them, no, this is how it's going to unfold. See, there was a moment where it got dicey in terms of the results because the map was all red. The map was all red. And so Joe thought, and Tim Dillon, I think, thought, like, oh, Trump is going to do it. Trump is going to win re-election. And when Jamie chimed in and said, hey, the odds in Vegas now are that Trump is an overwhelming favorite. And they're basically pitching this to me like, hey, like, you're kind of wrong. So what do you think? Because you say Biden was going to win. What do you think? And I told him, listen, they're counting they're counting the on the election day votes first in a lot of these states where Trump has a big lead. We know that he's going to lead the votes that happen on election day. They didn't even count the mail-ins yet. Once they count the mail-ins, guys, they were going, depending on which state you look at, they were going 60%, 70%, in some cases up to 85% for Biden with the mail-in votes. Even in like conservative areas, it would be like 65% for Biden with the mail-in votes. So when you count all the on-the-day votes first, of course Donald Trump is going to have a big lead. So anyway, we were looking at the map and you saw like, oh my God, Michigan is red. Oh my God, Wisconsin is red. And everybody's flipping out. And I was trying to explain to everybody, those are not even really swing states in this election. Like those states are going to go to Biden. Not only is Biden up in those states, he's up 8 to 10 points in the average of polls in those states. There's not a prayer for Trump in those states. Even if Trump overperforms, Biden is still going to win by like 2 or 3 points in those states. So that's comfortable. That's a comfortable victory. So I had to basically try to correct the record because everybody was starting to feel like, oh, this is inevitable. This is Trump's going to win. This is what's going to happen. It's just like 2016. The polls are off, this and that. And the most I wavered was there was one point where they asked me, like it looked like Trump was going to sweep. And they asked me, well, what do you think now? I said, there's still a 65% chance that Biden's going to win because they're counting the on the election day votes first. And then the mail-ins come second. And when the mail-ins come, it's going to flip. It's absolutely going to flip. So, that is what happened. That's exactly what happened. And Trump is trying to hang on for dear life, and he's not conceding and this and that. It's done. It's done. You're not going to find... Guys, again, when all said and done, yes, Biden underperformed his polling. He should have won 351 electoral votes. At worst, he should have won 320. He's probably going to win about 306. But, like, even though he underperformed his polls, it's not really a close election. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same margin or a similar margin that Trump beat Hillary with the last time. And Trump called that a landslide in his favor. So now it would be the same thing for Biden, but he's not letting go. But, you know, he's got no hope to try to win this thing in court or whatever. He says, oh, count the legal votes, but not the illegal votes. These are all these votes are legit. It's the mail-ins. And they counted the mail-ins second in a lot of these states. By the way, the solution to all this is to just count the mail-ins as they come in. So we know on the day, we would have had all these states called and the full vote count in already. If these states allowed it so that when the mail-ins come, you count it as it comes in. Florida already does that. The rest of the states could do that. By the way, it was Republicans who said, no, don't do that. Count them after, not as they come in. It was the Republicans run these states that did that. And now they turn around and complain about the vote. You guys set it up. You guys set it up. And also, for the record, even in Georgia, Republicans are in control of the count, and they're like, yeah, there's no evidence of fraud whatsoever. So Biden's up about 10,000 votes. He's probably going to finish up about 10,000 votes. Even if we recount it, Biden's going to be up. So anyway, listen, I had a great time with Joe. I had a great time with Tim Dillon. I really had fun. I think the night was very informational. I also think that to the extent we talked about other stuff, and we did, we got into a lot of other stuff. I had a great time doing that too. You know, as I said, I could sit there and vibe with Joe all night, vibe with Tim Dillon all night. Rogan and Tim Dillon, they have a vibe like Howard Stern and Artie Lang. So I feel like if they wanted to make it a more, you know, consistent long-term thing where Tim Dillon is there all the time, it just, the vibe works really well. So instead of Joe talking to just the guest, it could be Joe, Tim Dillon, and the guest. I think that that would really work well, but I don't know if that's what Joe wants to do. I'm just throwing it out there that this is what the dynamic reminds me of. This one was getting 700,000 live as it was happening. And then now you go look at it, it's about 10 million people who've seen it. So this really crushed, my previous record. And I'm just happy that I was able to give people, a little more of a solid understanding as to how it was going to unfold. And again, I had a great time, and I look forward to, in the future, I'm sure we'll do more.